It's only an inch, but it's cool. I mean, all right, brief intermission. So I got a couple of different updates in this garage. Yes, it's a mess right now, but it's pretty cool what we've got going on here. And I got a project coming up. I recently got myself some more goodies for shoots in 10-bit and has great stabilization. So much better than the old GoPro 5 I had. However, we'll still get some footage on that. I do have a buddy going to Happy Valley Rally, which is a Sportster only off-road event, doing the BDR X Loop in PA, I think is in Wellsboro, PA is their start. And then they wind up near State College. Looks fun, but not going if you don't got a Sportster. So maybe next year. Anyways, he's taking the GoPro 5 with him, and he'll be shooting while he's down there. We'll see what he gets. Might not be much, but any footage would be kind of cool just to have. I built the bar here. I will post a video with the outtakes from that, but it's honestly not going to be anything great. I'm not a carpenter. If you look closely, you'll see things. This is all hardwood floor off of my parents' old kitchen. They remodeled to a new floor. This was all scraps that they were going to just throw in the dumpster. I took it. I literally cut it down with the Sawzall. Down here even I screwed it in with drywall screws into the wood down there and just rough cut around the edges. It's a garage bar, so I suppose it doesn't really need to be that nice. And I could get real anal about it, but I don't want to. So this is how we're rocking now. This is foam I got off of Amazon. It's meant for children when they're like learning to walk, so they don't hit their heads on corners of like tables. Or really for walls like this, you can put these long, straighter pieces on the walls like that, and that's what would be the idea or what its actual use is for. But it works great here as both an armrest, right? Put your arm on it. And it's covering all my crap cuts and whatnot. But looks great from this side. When you're out here, it's like, wow, it's a real bar. And then from that side, it's all work. You know? Got a wine cooler from my girlfriend's father. It goes down to 46 degrees. Just a couple of plastic storage containers that I've already had. A Walmart toolbox. I'm kind of reorganizing. Pegboard over here. My girlfriend's father gave me this shelving unit and all these mason jars, and even all of these jars full of stuff right there. So pretty excited. But yeah, man, I built this big storage shelving unit to hold most of the e-bikes up and out of the way. What you can't tell is there's 5 e-bikes in here right now, a huge scrap metal bin, and all of the takeoff parts from this Shadow 1100. Got all my helmets hanging, and then down here you'll see MX350, MX500, MX350, my little chopper scoot, and then another MX350 over here. And then over here we got the dirt quad, the Walmart drift car. They do actually work okay enough if you're not like somebody who's an RC at all. I mean, it was just something to spend a couple bucks on and mess around while I'm hanging out with the boys. So got that there. Yeah, this was under my old workbench holding like jack stands and power tools. Yeah, built the motorcycle stand here, and it is probably the most well-engineered thing in here. I figured if I'm going to put the heaviest things on there, it might as well be. But yeah, and then I got the Rebel 250 on next. I'm really excited for this build. I'm leaving it swing arm, but I got these 10-inch struts off of Amazon. They're, you know, that much smaller than the shock, so it should lower it just a tad. As you see, that just actually looks pretty good. Then I want to do some upswept exhaust, and then a sissy bar with this taillight license plate holder. One of these gas bicycle conversion gas tanks for like $27 on Amazon. This is the Nighthawk 250 rear wheel, which is a 16-inch rear wheel. You can get more tire options, and it is a bit bigger, which I don't know if that's what is going to make this or not. It's only an inch, but it's cool. I mean, this is a Nighthawk 250 front end. The only reason this is like this is because the Rebel 250 front end, or I bought a Nighthawk with intentions to put the motor in here, and wound up finding out the Rebel 250 had a better front end with disc brakes and thicker fork tubes, where this is thinner fork tubes, drum brake front. But I feel like that really does work with the chopper style. And honestly, from the lower triple to the top of the fork tube, I don't know this to be certain. Maybe this is my eyes playing tricks with me, but it appears to be longer than on the Rebel. So I think I'm really happy with how this build can progress. They're such small, light bikes that they're honestly fun to ride, even at low speeds, and especially at low speeds, man. You could ride this into town and look cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. Got a lot of projects waiting. This ATV is probably never going to see the light of day again, so I'm going to take the motor off of this, put it on the first gen MX 350, and I'm going to keep the controller for a potential mountain bike build in the future. There's just so many off-road trails near me that I can't pass up the idea of going a rip around. So I'll see about that. But anyways, that's what's going on. Back to the riding. Welcome to back there flash their lights? I don't know.